start this video. What's poppin', everybody? This is Frequency Road Radio. Madam X, you already the fuck know. So, I'm tired, y'all. I slept all day today because I was trying to catch up. And excuse the background noises. I'm cooking dinner. That shrimp Alfredo from scratch because I'm a double cancer and yes, I chefs. That's just what I do. So, I'm so tired. Forgive me if my energy is low. I'm sure it'll hype up at some point. I was up for like 24 hours straight. And then another day and a half. I think I got 5 hours of sleep on the second day and a half. Because, that 1, 2, 3 in the morning, those is holy hours. You know what I mean? Those are spiritual hours. Those is, the ancestors talking to me hours. So I ain't been to sleep. But that's really besides the point of this video. So I'm just going to go ahead and start making this series because it's just overdue and it's so much needed. And I said, sorry, I got the garlic butter going. So I said, as I clean these shrimp. So I said, I would have my thoughts really organized to come and talk about this topic because I consider it a serious one. Now, although I do believe, whatever's meant to be is going to be. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. The energy of the earth due to the sky and the galaxy above is what it is. You can either go with it or go against it and get smashed. You know what I'm saying? And have a difficult time moving through a difficult time moving through the stages and periods of life and our existence, on this planet that we call Earth. So let's first start off by saying, just if you're into astrology, just to start off with a little something about me that you may understand more than some others. It is ain't about me, so I'm not going into this. But, for those are my spiritual people and people who go a little deeper, in their psyche and their realm and their third eye, it may be stuff that's helpful to get to know me. So if you watch my astrology videos, I'm sure you've heard this, but I'm just because as you hear my opinions and thoughts and facts and all that, you may wonder, especially if you, the basis of my channel is astrology, but it's social topics as well. But for those astrology people that may really be wondering, because I know every time somebody starts talking or they spark something that interests me, I want to know everything. I want to know their chart, especially, I got to know the big three, the sun, the moon, and the rising. Sun and moon, if not the rising. So I'm a Cancer rising, Cancer sun, Pisces moon, but it's a cusp, so I claim Aquarius as my moon sometimes as well. My moon is in the Aquarius house. And I'm a Leo North node. So, if you're in astrology, go ahead and formulate your thoughts. If you're not, pay that no mind. And let's keep moving. So let's let it be said that I believe a lot of what's going on that I'm going to be talking about in these series and addressing in this video is due. I truly believe. Sometimes you may hear people debate about what age we're in and things like that. But I truly do believe it's the age of Aquarius just because of all the things that are going on. The dynamics that are going on in the world, politics, social issues, the dynamics between men and women, just everything, knowledge, life, getting brought to the truth, things that you can see in a clear light. Sorry, guys, I had the phone right next to the stove. Things that you can see in a clear light because it's Aquarius. It's the age of Aquarius. It's not the age of Pisces where you're dealing with Neptune and a certain haziness and escapism and living in a bubble and kind of being connected and knowing what's going on through your connection with people, but not being clear, not really being able to make your way. A lot of confusion in the age of Pisces. So in this age of Aquarius, you're getting a lot of truths, discoveries, but also what I see that's going on, and just to make this example so that you can understand how it's going to play into my video. And as we went through the age of Pisces, I'm in my 30s, so I can't tell you too much about history other than what I've read. But and history was one of my best subjects, history and geography and math. But anyway, I digress. And In the age of Pisces, we went through the 70s. I truly believe I lived a short lifetime in the 70s, and I'm back. My sister swears me up and down that I'm my grandmother reincarnated. I have her middle name. But as she hangs around, she's older than me, so as she hangs around me more, she swears me down. I'm our father's mother. But anyway, so you had the age of free love. You had these civil rights movements, these freedom movements, and that kind of thing going on. And I believe slavery and all that stuff, it must have fell into the age of Pisces as well. So I think a lot of things were more based on a focus on the collective, a focus of there being a deeper spiritual underlying bond and connections that people made through like free love, or having a bond together through a tumultuous, death-ridden or dangerous experience. It's very Pisces to me, especially when you talk about the 70s, because this is going to focus more on relationships, especially when you talk about the 70s and free love and things of that nature. That's very Piscean to me. But now that we're in the Aquarian age, what you may notice is there's a lot of individualism. People, there's a collective. Like if you see the police brutality videos, things that happen is coming out on camera. So in the social media, in the age of technology, it's hard to hide a lot of things and a lot of truths, whether it be with the government, whether it be your next door neighbor lied on you and you recorded them and put it on social media. Like there's an air of exposure in the age of Aquarius, and learning about who you are through the collective. That is what's going on with age of an Aquarius. But the difference between age of Aquarius and the age of Pisces, the age of Pisces is more a selfless sign. Now, they can be very selfish in ways, very self-centered, very stuck in their own thought. You know, they think they're the smartest and all of this and all. They think they know it all. But their acts of service and how Pisces is kind of here to guide and serve others, I would say it's more a sign that's not so much about individuality. Pisces is definitely about the collective. Now, in the age of Aquarius, the sign of Aquarius is more about individuality learned through the collective. So if you can see, I hope I said that right, it's sort of an opposite. Like Pisces is of the collective, it's for the collective, and it learns about its individual self through others. Okay. Aquarius is about the individual. It is about the self, and it learns about the self, you know what I mean, through its experiences with others. But the basis of Pisces is the collective, it's others. The basis of Aquarius is getting what it can get from others, taking in others, but Aquarius' focus is that more on itself and its individual growth and its individualism, and getting the Aquarius to the higher realm that the Aquarius needs to be at through taking in the collective conscious and processing the collective conscious. Whereas Pisces will sort of sacrifice some of that individualism to benefit the greater community or the greater consciousness. Aquarius it's not doing that. The lesson for Aquarius is really about self. What Pisces really seeks to know is about others, if that makes it clear for you guys. So in this age of Aquarius, when it comes to relationships, we aren't in the free zone anymore. We aren't in the free love times. When it comes to relationships, it is more an individualistic and a self-centered paradigm that we come from when we come into relationships. I've never in my life now, for me personally, relationships, black men and black women and black men being together, it never even was a thought. It never was an issue. Like I said, I'm in my 30s. So I came up in a household with my mom and my dad. They were married. They were together until my dad died. They separated after I was 18 because I had moved out with my boyfriend at the time. But my father he refused to leave my home as long as I was there. Me and my dad were very, very tight. I have an Aries dad and a Libra mom. So, I come from a black family. Everything about my family was black. And it wasn't that, when I was younger, my first best friend was like a white girl. My second best friend was an Indian. Well, I had an Indian and a black friend at the same time because the neighbor who lived across the hall, Mona Moody, she was an Indian. You know what I mean? So that was my best friend. And I had a like in kindergarten or something like that, pre-K, I had a white best friend. And I didn't even know what white was until either some little girls we were playing with or some adult is like, well, why is she hanging around a little white girl? So you don't even know color until it's taught to you. But when I was younger, other races didn't offend me. Hanging with white girls, even if I had saw a white girl with a black guy with a white girl back in the day, or having friends of mixed races, never bothered me because I was secure in the black family that I was raised in. The same way Chinese people can come here, Oriental people, whoever can come here, open businesses, intermingle with the black people, service the black people, get rich and get paid off the black people, but they still go back to their communities. They still do this and do that. I'm sure people mix. Like if you guys watch Black Ink Crew, she's like a Chinese or Oriental, I don't know exactly what she is, lady, and she's with a black guy. So yeah, people intermix. There's going to be some intermixing. Not everybody is going to do the same thing and has to do the same thing, but it doesn't affect. And this is not even that I really got a problem with interracial stuff, because I'm going to tell you one thing about Funky Doniva's video that was true is that the niggas that's with white bitches, ain't nobody want them. Ain't nobody want them. Period, point blank. And that goes for about 10 out of 10. I never seen a black guy with a white girl who was the dude that most of the black girls wanted. And for the guys watching this whole MGTOW and all you guys out there, if you're watching this, you can't hate the players, you can only hate the game. And the best way to be who you want to be is self-improvement. So you guys are never going to get anywhere, and the females are never going to get anywhere as long as you keep pointing the finger at the other sex and saying, this is what they do. This is why we don't like black women. This is why we don't like black men. This is why we date out of side of our race. This is why we do this and do that. While a lot of those things that are talked about black women are true here and there, and while a lot of it is false, it is not the general, it is not the blanket statement. The only way you're going to get what you ever wanted is to start improving yourself. That's why you can't get who you want to be with. That's why you have these issues with black women or this, that, and the other. It starts with you. So y'all never going to get anywhere. Neither one of the sexes is going to get anywhere as long as we look at the other and point fingers and say, this is what you do wrong. In my personal life, when I had problems with people, when you break up with somebody, you're not in a relationship no more, when you and a friend fall out, when you and your family members get into it, the first thing I say to myself is, what did I do wrong? And how can I improve and take responsibility for myself? You know what I mean? I recognize what someone may else have done to hurt me, or that I didn't like, or that I didn't appreciate. But the first thing I do is take responsibility for my behavior. Even if it is even if it's so basic as to say, okay, I didn't do anything to this person, but I let them in my life. I allowed this behavior to happen. I didn't check things from the past or whatever the case may be. So that's where you got to start. If you want to see improvement or you have frustration with black women, you got to start with yourself, or you always going to be in that sad ass, whiny ass position that you in. And anyway, so now in this age of Aquarius, everybody wants to be individualistic. So back when we were still going through the age of Pisces coming to an end, when I was young, I didn't have any problem with mixing or other races because, like I said, there was Indians in my community. I had white girls in my community. It was mostly black. I grew up in a predominantly black community, but it was a good area of the county. If you listen to this, you may can tell I'm from the DMV, more specifically Baltimore. I think people watch The Wire and stuff and they think Baltimore is like all that, like it's just a city, but there are many counties in Maryland, Baltimore County being one of them, like Carroll County, PG County is a county in Maryland, Allegheny County, it's many different counties in Maryland. Baltimore is not just a city, and it's just one county in Maryland. So I grew up in pretty decent neighborhoods, so it never bothered me because my family was so So naturally, just black, I never even noticed that this thing was a big issue, probably until I got up into my 30s, maybe even my 20s. So, my parents, they marched, they fought, they did all of those things throughout the civil rights movements, and we were black. They knew how to put on, during those times, black people were getting really good jobs. So this would be like in the 60s, 70s, 80s, kind of like that time frame. Like a lot of people, black people were going to the service, and it was of a really good benefit, of a really great benefit during those times, to kind of boost back black people into these next level of career paths and skills, and moving in different classes within society, coming out of the civil rights movement. So going into the military, my mom was into technology. She was into IT. This is back in the 80s when I was born. So women were doing, she's a Libra, so that's not surprising. Air signs, tech gurus, but they had opportunities, and they loved their black, because you can go back to all of the black exploitation films, the Black Panther movement, the Black and Proud movement, the wearing your afro. So we went through a time of collective learning about ourselves through the collective conscious. We were really proud to be who we were, and proud of those things. And black love and just being black was all good. That didn't mean that people didn't mix with white women or men. It didn't mean those things. It didn't mean that you didn't have an interracial couple here and there. But it really just means we were secure more so in our blackness. And it also doesn't mean that you didn't have the trouble in the homes and the communities that we have now, such as cheating or this, that, or the other, money issues. That stuff still existed. It's just on a whole nother scale now, because times change, people change, and energy changes. So coming into this age of Aquarius, we've gotten to this point where, coming through the 80s and the 90s, like I was just saying, my mom in IT, you get to a place where now women have this power. Women, and this is, I don't have all night to be on here. I have some things to do. Like I said, I'm cooking dinner. So I'm going to make this short, but there's so many facets, we'll have to take it in part and break it down, because I'm not going to touch on the government, the matrix, the plan, the setup, the design. I got to leave that out, because we'll be here for like days. But, I may touch on it now, but we'll get deeper into that, down the line. So no matter if it was the design for women to come up, because of course, to get to a people, you got to get to their women. So, once you incapacitate that man, you break that man down to where there's no opportunities, they're on drugs, they can't be what's perceived as a quote unquote man. You dangle all these things in front of them. Again, you're talking about a people coming out of civil rights, a people not far removed from chattel slavery. So it's just like, if you've been in jail for 10 years, when you come out, that's why I be telling I don't have any girlfriends that's dating any jailbirds. But if you were in jail and you've been in there for 10 years, I wouldn't be the girl dealing with you, because I know when you come out, you're going to wow out. If you watch my videos, you have to use your common sense. I'm going to generalize, but if you have common sense, there are exceptions to the rule. So yeah, there might be that guy in prison who's married or comes out, gets married, and he's a faithful guy, and he goes on and skips down the yellow brick road with his wife and kids for the rest of his life. But the majority of anybody, but we're going to talk about men. The majority of people, if they get locked up for 10 years, you have not had the privileges of the outside world for 10 years. You're going to wild out for a little bit. You might want to fuck a couple different bitches. You might want to drink. You might want to do some different things depending on where your head is at if you've been locked up for 10 years. Point being, you might not want to come right out of a 10-year jail stint and just completely settle down, not have the choice of maybe messing with some different women. Just as you get acclimated to the world, that's going to be difficult for you. So I'm making that analogy to our people going through some things and getting to a time where it's like, okay, now we have access. We got the TV, we got these jobs, we got computers, planes, trains, like this whole industrial revolution that kind of happened prior to where in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, we could really start, well, not 50s. I'm going to scratch the 60s off. I'm going to really talk about the 70s, 80s, 90s. See how close to chattel slavery we are? We're really not that far removed. So, you got this, my poodle just walked by me with something in her mouth, y'all, and I don't know where she got it from because I ain't give a shit. But anyway, so you not this far removed from having this access, having this freedom and all of that. So you're going to wild out. You're going to take advantage of it, and you're going to be comfortable, until things happen where you see that you're not really free. And you comfortable, but you can never really get as comfortable as you want to be. You can never be yourself. So coming into this age with all of this access and women moving to the forefront of the households, and like I said, it's just too broad to touch on, so we got to leave white feminism out. If you're a white person or a person of another that is not of more African colored people descent, if you're a white person, you can watch my video, that's fine. I had, I'm not a person who's discriminatory. I'm a race first person because every race on this planet, other than the Negro, other than the Moor, other than the Negro, other than the nigger, other than the black person, is a race first culture, except us, which is understandable because of things that have happened. But we get into a time at the age of Aquarius, it's just not going to be good enough. Settling for less is not going to be good enough. And if you know any Aquariuses, they usually don't settle for less. Aquarius is a go hard or go home sort of sign. So getting to this point in time, I never really realized that it was really, and like I said, I personally was in a relationship since I was young, since I was, like I said, I'm in my 30s now. I was in it since I was 18 years old. It was most of my damn adult life. So I never understood there was this issue with black men swirling or dating outside their race. I always looked at it like, hey, yeah, every now and then I might see a white girl with a black guy, a black guy with a white girl, but I'm not tripping off that because I never had a shortage of black men who were available for me to date, talk to, have a relationship, whatever the case. That was never an issue for me. So it doesn't bother me. If I'm not like that. If my bag is full of groceries, I don't want your bag of groceries too. I'm full. I got mine. So that never bothered me when somebody wanted to date outside of the race. I never saw it as a problem. So when I came into my 30s and I came into being single, so the first time of really being single since being an adult, it was kind of like, you see people that want to talk to you or that want to date you or have relationships with you and things like that. And as you grow up, period. So a lot of this is just growing pains from just growing up. As you get used to that world of maybe not being in a relationship or a steady relationship, you kind of see what's going on out here. And then just joining the YouTube community, like I said, social media brings everything to the forefront. Seeing that, I knew nothing about no MGTOW movement and guys tired of getting played and this whole black women, black men thing, because during my 20s, all I saw was black couples. Like, we were young, but all of our friends were with black people. I had friends who have dated white boys, or I had family members who might have messed with white girls at some point in time. But like I said, that's the rare instance. That's not the whole. And to be honest, we all know white people don't have, you guys, I don't know if you're missing a part of the soul. You just ain't got that soul that black people have. So usually if I knew a black guy that was dating a white girl, he just wanted a different experience. It was something that say he did. It was fun. It's something he did in his youth, but he pretty much settled down with a black woman. And if I knew a black girl that dated a white guy, it was a change. She was tired of the way that black dudes were treating her. So let me just start right here at this instance and say this. A lot of the things that black men are saying about black women, which drives them to other races, like I said, you got to go back and reflect on yourself, because if anything is driving you somewhere else, or if you're doing something else that is against your nature because you don't have, and I'll explain against your nature and why it's against your nature for the black culture. if it's because you're upset with something else, you should start with yourself, because everything in life is a mirror of you. If you attract a certain type of woman, if you don't attract a certain type of woman, if you are, whatever you bring to yourself and experiences you see in this lifetime is because of you and your behavior and the energy you're giving out. So, we can get down into being ugly, not keeping good hygiene, not having any money, being corny, not being popular, not having all of the because it's more than just looking good. It's personality. It's being in the know. You ain't got to wear all the trends, but you got to know what the hot kicks is, what the hot labels were back in the day. Like coming up, my years are coming up. Fila, crisscross, Carl Canai. You just got to know what Reebok, the tennis skirts, the classic, the Reebok classics. You know what I'm saying? All Nikes. You know what I mean? Nikes, the Hirachis back in the day. I remember I begged my mom, but her IT working ass bought me them $100 and something teal, yellow, and white Hirachis. Yes, she did. So it's just a lot, you might not be a person who's in the know. You might not be. So all of those things are going to affect your popularity in the dating world, your choice of women. At the end of the day, we may be, quote unquote, the most evolved species on the planet, but we dumb as a motherfucker, because not everybody is going to be popular. Not everybody is going to get the man they want. Not everybody is going to get the woman they want. Not everybody is going to be the pick of the litter. Not everybody is going to be the king that has all of these wives, because it's just not what you were born here to do. It's not your position. If you don't get black women easily, or you're not a player, or women dog you, that's who you are. That's who you were put here and meant to be. It does not mean that you can't find a good black woman. What are you looking for? Are you looking for somebody out of your league? See, that's the thing. A lot of us don't know our league and our levels, and that's why you having a problem. You're not having a problem because black women ain't shit and they dogged you because you was ugly when you was younger, and they only want the niggas with the money. Because stop right here again. And this why I really don't even take the time to make these videos, because I got to deal with people who think smarter, not harder. You're taking too much time on just stupid shit. Every race is like that, because before you get the color, you're either a man or a woman. Men want attractive, nice looking things. That's what make you go. That's what make your blood boil. That's what gets you ticking. Things that make him feel like a man, that make him feel like he can take care of things. And men are attracted to beauty. Women, no matter what color you are or what race you are, we are about security. You have to be able to provide it. Now, we get a bad rap. Black women get a bad, and I've always felt black women have gotten a bad rap for being gold diggers, just because of our condition, where we're at, and what we've been through. So it's like we don't have a right to want somebody that has money, who's financially well off, just because we're black women. Like, we're the only one who don't have that right. And it's kind of in the same thing at the same time, saying not only do we not have that right, but the majority of black men don't have the ability, are going to be the ones who do have the money. You know what I mean? So it's almost like a black man don't have a right to be that successful, and a black woman don't have a right to want somebody who's that successful because of what we've been through and what we come from. So this is a good place to interject that the reason why. Now, I feel like the battle in this world is not a battle of the sexes. It's not a battle of good, evil. It's not a battle of us against the government. It's not a battle of white versus black. It's a battle of good and evil. It's a spiritual war. And when people get to that place where you see, that's why I fight the war, not through trying to tell you who to read. I did the lectures. I've seen Neely Fuller, Tony Browder. I've seen those people in lectures in person. You know what I mean? I've been through that phase, but it's about a spiritual war now. And as you come into loving yourself and ascending in this world, you'll get past that phase, and then you're going to come to a place where it's spiritual. You may hit religion, or you may ascend beyond religion and hit spirituality, but you're going to come to a place where you find all these police killings, all this stuff that's going on. It's not a color war. It's a spiritual war. Again, I just really, my sister and I were saying there's a lack of think tanks anymore. We really need a good black and people of color with the men and the women think tank, not group think. I don't do group think. I make a point to not think like the group, but we need a think tank. That's what we need to discuss these ideals and really make something tangible out of it. Because For most people, it's just talking. But anyway, that's why I say I do my work on the spiritual realm, through tarot, through life coaching, through guidance, through spiritual mechanisms, because I know that's how the war really has to be fought. So the reason why it is important, I would say, at this phase, or why it has such an impact when black men aren't with black women and when black women aren't with black men, because we don't have the foundation to stand on that some other races have. And if you really want to look at the truth, now, I'm not a person for rhetoric. I just told you I'm a Cancer on the rising, Cancer on the sun, and a Pisces / Aquarius moon. I'm not for the rhetoric. You would have to get to bottom line, just logical thinking for me to have an understanding of some of these MGTOW and other arguments. Because, if you really be honest with yourself and look at it, the Caucasian race has a foundation to stand for. Whether they're a woman, whether they lose a few women to the black man, it means nothing, because a Caucasian man can go out here and round up 20 white people and give them jobs, put them in position. I'm in corporate America. I'm at the management level. So I see a lot of the things, that a lot of ways where they got it on lock. And they got it on lock because you could just look out and see what's going on. Now, if you're a black man, what I would like you to do, and you believe in these things and you're all for interracial dating, and do you? Because at the end of the day, like I said, I live my life in a spiritual way. No matter if it was 2 black men out there to date, make families with, and all of that, I bet you I'm gonna get one of them. So it's that's neither here nor there. But what I would like the black men who have these thoughts and are very open, to dating outside their race. Now, I'm not talking about people of Afro-Moorish descent. So I'm not talking about Afro-Brazilians. I'm not talking about Afro-Latinas. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking strictly Caucasoid and non-Caucasoid. I mean, they say they're 4 races, whatever the case, but we're going to boil it down to Caucasoid and non-Caucasoid. That's what I'm talking about. I would challenge any of the brothers who are very open to that sort of dating to say, go round up 20 people, go round up 20 black men and 20 women, give them a job, pay them a salary where they can live in a decent and comfortable neighborhood. So they got to be, it's 2018, you got to be able to pay them so they're making over 50K, because you can make it happen on 50K. You can live decent on 50K if you manage your money. And if they have a partner, I'll say 30K, because you could be 30 and 30 and make 60, or 50 and 50 and make 100. So you got to at least pay them like 30K a year. I'm going to give you, let's go somewhere and I'm going to say 40K a year. If you can do that, then come back and talk to me, because obviously I really do live in outer space, and we have some sort of black economy that I didn't realize we had. So if you're smart, and if you're thinking smarter and not harder, then you've already got my point. We don't have the foundation to stand on to lose our brothers and sisters, to go take their money and build other races. Now, if you're going to be with a white person or a white woman or man, and you're going to still put your money in the black community and build up your race, that's fine. But who's doing it? I heard somebody saying Byron Allen is with a white woman and stuff like that. So if that's the case, and he's got these millions, and then let's pick a few basketball players that might be with other races and things like that. Why is there still projects? Why is there no black economy? Why aren't there more black-owned businesses, like I'm saying, where you can go and hire your peoples like white people do, and we have a black economy? Where can I go that's either a chain store or a big name like a Walmart, or I know the banks are popping up, but you know what I mean? Where's the black economy? Like there's an Asian economy, like there's a Caucasian economy. Everybody's got a fucking economy, but black people. So we do not have a political or a financial and economical basis to stand on to justify dating out of our race. Now, that's just on a basic, you live in a matrix, earthly realm version. I'm not talking to my people who, you are so spiritually ascended and you don't see color and you're kumbaya fucking yeah. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Because if you are that, then your first love is like your own race. Because I can't imagine loving something that don't look like me. You see what I'm saying? I love all people, but that kind of love, when it comes to my progeny, what I'm going to reproduce, what my kids look like, I think I'm beautiful. I want my kids to look like me. You know what I'm saying? And I want to have a business where I can say, because our people are in the condition we're in, and we overall don't get the justice from the league because we don't own it. We don't run anything on a political basis. And I could really go deep into this, but if we have some people that want to talk, we can talk about it. But I'm not going to go too far in this video because it's going to be too much, and we'll just stay on the surface for the people that's stuck in the matrix. That's where we're going to stay. So just for that fact alone, sometimes you got to do what you got to do, not what you want to do. You see what I'm saying? Some shit you may not want to do, but when you think about your kids down the line, when you think about what's in your ancestors in the past, some shit you do because you have to do. And let me give you a prime example. As a woman, and I know the men are saying the same thing, and here's the difference between the black woman and the black man. As a black woman, and we outnumber men, and I'm still hearing a lot of men saying, oh, well, they doing this, they doing that, they don't appreciate us, they don't want me, they gold diggers. And I want to go back to this point. I have too many, and I don't want to forget any. So which point do I want to go with? Okay, I'm going to go back to this gold digger because I didn't finish it because I went down another road. So when you say black women are gold diggers, every woman is good enough to be a gold digger. Every woman has the right to be a gold digger, but the black one. If you think about what I'm saying, you will see how self-sabotaging and self-hating that is. Because it's so ingrained and understood in other cultures, you don't have to call them a gold digger. Let's call them a grow digger because they're raised like that from birth. So when they finessing you nigga out that money, you won't even know it because they always came up that way. So there's some, I don't even understand these justifications of when you're saying, oh, well, black women want your money. They didn't want you when you didn't have it, but they want you now. Show me another race that ain't already that way. That's not the same way. Because when men always want to go to, men genetically like this and biologically, we need to fuck all these bitches. Which is true, ladies. I mean, they got all that sperm. They turned on by what they see, not what makes them secure. So you got to give it to men on that. And some of us, we're going to have to be in, polygynous relationships. Is just what it is. It's just what it is. You could lie to yourself all you want to lie to yourself. Or you can get cheated on, or you can have a partner that's just going to tell you the truth. Not everybody's going to have a one-on-one monogamous relationship. It's not even in nature to be that way. That's not natural. So, and like I was saying, so every other woman is ingrained in them. They grow up being a gold digger. But the black woman is such a piece of shit. It's such a dirty piece of shit. We can't want no security. What's genetically ingrained in us as a woman to want? Most women ain't programmed to be with you because of how you look. It ain't all about how you look. It's your status in life. Can you protect her? Can you make the money to take care of home? And, because like I said, we in the new millennium, we in the Aquarius. The woman's, hey, I can do this. I'm going out. I'm going to make this money. Aquarius is work. They hustlers. They make it happen. Even the women. So we're going to breeze past the feminist movement and all of that because I'm not talking about those kind of women. I'm talking about women that even if they are feminists is out the question. That's white. That's Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood. We're going to leave that alone. But and white people, I love you. But when you right, you right. And when you wrong, you wrong. And the same goes for my people. And we talking about fact. We're not talking about emotional shit. We talking about what's real and what happened and has happened in this world. So is that how low we are that we can't want security? So instead of a black man dating a quote unquote gold digger, somebody who didn't want him when he had money and now he's got it, instead of dating her, creating a black family, if y'all could work it out, maybe she didn't like you at first, you got a little money, she see you doing something, she like, oh, this nigga, he can secure me. He has security because we programmed that way. That's why most women don't just see a dude and just want to, even if they want to have sex with him, they just not going to do it off of first sight, because we're not motivated by what catches our attention at the eye. We're motivated by what secures us. So if that's the situation, instead of you going and creating a family with her because she was a gold digger, you gonna go and create it with another bitch of the Caucasian race who's the same, that want the same shit. She want the same shit. How many black men y'all know with white women that's living in the hood, the ghetto, and don't have no money, and that's broke and poor? I'm sure you may know one here and there, have seen one a time or two. I have. But I'm saying overall, how many do you think are like that? Do you think the majority are with at least middle class, even on up to wealthy or rich men? Yeah, you can go look at it. You can Google it. Don't listen to nothing I say. Go do your own research and come back and tell me that I'm right. Because I already know I am. I wouldn't be on here talking if I didn't know that. Anyway, and I ain't right because I say I am. I'm right because I'm using my brain. It makes logical sense to you, right? Before anybody got to tell you what the truth is, your soul already know what's right and what's wrong. You already can feel it. Don't nobody got to go pull a book and prove to you what the fuck is fact. If your chakras are open, if that third eye is open, and if you have soul. Moving right along. So, I don't understand that line of thought at all. I don't understand it. And if we can't build families and have a political and an economical standing in this country, and I'm not talking about an Obama political standing where you become president, but the volume of niggas getting killed on video between Obama and Trump hasn't changed. So, and again, I'm not going to go down the line of the president don't mean nothing. We don't pick the president, the elite family, blah, blah, blah. My spiritual people already know that. I'm staying in the matrix right now. So, how come every other race has protection and rights, but when something wants to be done for the black people as a whole, there's an issue with that. And let me just go ahead and nip it in the bud for the people who are just, hey, you came up and your folks are doing good and you go to the balls and all the fundraisers and you're rich and you hobnob with the Caucasians and the rich people and all that. Blacks who came up like that, that's all well and good. But one of you still can't stop a cop from shooting a nigga right in the fucking camera for no reason. So what does all your money and your social circle and your standing do when you can't do shit? You have no political or economical force or power to do shit for your people, and absolutely no military power. God bless the Black Panthers, bless the dead. What does your worth mean when you can't do nothing for your people as a whole? At that point, you're physically black, but you're internally not even black no more for a lot of the people. And this is not all. I am generalizing. But you can see by the state of the world, the generalizations must be true. Again, if you're on here and you're black and you own a business, can you bring me over there for about 70 to 6 figures? About 70 to 100 grand? Can you match what the white man does? Can you do that? Okay, so on a general scale, what I must be saying must have some semblance of truth. So I think I'm going to cut it off here because it's 42 minutes. People want to eat. They hungry. I done stopped cooking. I got to make this Alfredo sauce. So I got to go. You know what I mean? I got to go. But it's just something to think about. And it's a building block for further topics where instead of black men turning against black women and black women turning against black men, maybe we can come together and talk and discuss and get an understanding. Everybody isn't going to do the same thing. Everybody isn't looking for one-on-one relationships, monogamy. Everybody isn't looking for an open relationship. All men aren't looking to cheat, and all women aren't looking to use you for your money and throw you to the side. But there has to be some understanding that leads to love between us as a people, between us as sexes, as men and as women, if we're ever going to get anywhere collectively as a people. Yes, a few of us can make it. Yes, a few of us can get to the top. But if I get to the top and somebody call me tomorrow and tell me somebody, it don't have to be a cop. It could be a nigga that live next door. Because we don't value our life. That's why other people can kill us. Because we don't have no political military or economic threshold, basis, foundations, and standing. That's why other people can do what they do. And it's a spiritual war. That's why it's been so difficult for the black man to get there versus other races. Because it goes much deeper than what you see. But if I can get to the top, and I'm a millionaire and I'm living in my house, my gated community, I'm a real housewife of this or that, and I'm living big, and I done made it. I'm a debutante. I go to the balls, the charity fundraisers. We're rich. If they call me tomorrow and say somebody shot my son dead in the street unjustly, what can you do about that? Where's your worth? What are you worth at that point? Let me tell you something. You ain't worth shit. Because again, it's not about your money. It's a spiritual world. And if you don't have power as a race, you'll never have power as an individual. It just doesn't work like that. And to date, the only political party that I saw that had it right was the Black Panthers. But unfortunately, guys, we just don't have the backing to fight as we need to fight. And when we stop trying to fight physically, and I think when we go spiritually, and that's why I'm having this conversation, because black men and women coming together and having a dialogue and the conversations is getting to the place where you're going to fight this war spiritually. And eventually there will be justice. When they try to take one of our lives because we care so much and protect our own, nobody else is going to be able to violate that. So I just wanted to put those thoughts out there. I just wanted to put it in the air. I'm tired of the videos, and I have my own opinions. I rarely comment because I was watching one of the brothers in the conscious community. He put out a good video today. I won't say the name because, I still be looking at a lot of people in the community with the side eye. So I'm not going to say a name, but he said something on a video. That's how I live my life. And it was a thought-worthy statement. And he was kind of saying, when you have a strong spiritual immune system, when you have a strong spiritual basis, you don't wallow down there where that level of things exists. So a lot of times I won't comment because I'm built up so strong spiritually. I'm not going to get in the dirt and go back. Like I won't argue with a fool. And that's why I'm talking about think tanks and things like that. But sometimes the foolish opinions are so vast and so many, you just feel like sometimes you have to speak up. Because a lot of times I feel like, was nobody born with a brain at all? The Wiz wasn't giving out none that day. The Wiz ain't gave out no brains in the last 50 years. He ain't give out no brains. Damn. Where they giving out brains at? And he damn sure wasn't giving out heart. He damn sure wasn't giving out heart. Heart and brains, y'all. That's what we need to work on. Turn it on the inside. Work on yourself and stop complaining. If it's not a show, if it's not for the money, if it's not for the YouTube attention, if it's not for all of that, stop complaining about the opposite sex. And fellas, come in, listen good. Put your ear to the speaker on your device. Put your ear to the speaker on the device. Can you do that for me? Because I want to talk to you for a minute. I'm going to tell you some shit that other people ain't telling you. And when you find it, figure it out. Whenever you figure it out to be true, don't say, Madam X ain't told you. If you're not a player, if you don't get mad bitches, if you were not popular with the ladies when you were younger, if that's not you, it ain't never gonna be you. You can go get all the coaching you want. You can listen to all this stupid YouTube shit if you want, but you were brought into this world to be who you are. Not everybody is a player. Not everybody got all the wives, all the chicks, all the girls. What you need to do, turn it around. Focus on yourself. Work on yourself. Elevate yourself to a higher spirituality and consciousness, and you too will get the woman that you want to be with. Even with your ugly, lame, corny ass. You gonna get her. But you got to work on yourself first. So, that's just what I want you guys to do. Because when you work on yourself and when you get to that level, you're going to bring other people in your life that are at that level. And then you'll realize I was never ugly. I was never lame. I was never corny. It was never about my money. But I projected those things and I felt those things about myself. So that's what I projected onto society. Because now that I've elevated my consciousness and my spirituality, I have met people, whether they be white, black, red, blue, or green. that are on that same level of consciousness, who are interested in me, because we all have elevated past the point of the matrix that I was previously stuck on before I worked on myself. Okay? Can you do that for me, babe? Do that for me, baby. And then we'll talk about this more in detail later, because I really want the men to understand where good women are coming from. And I believe most women are good, and I believe most men are good. I just believe we're all fucked up and confused. You know, like I said, the brain ain't working. The pineal gland is calcified. So we just need some understanding between us as a culture, as a race. So we can really, you know, make some strides and see some things that we want to see, instead of complaining and whining and going against each other and all of that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And you're going to stay where you at. Unhappy, disappointed, depressed, and all that bullshit. Okay? So, you know, that's it. That's all I got tonight, guys. I'll come back with a part 2. You know, when I get the revelation to do so, I'm going to try to finish up my tarot readings. Well, I'm not going to finish them up, but I'm going to try to get the rest out, the majority out there by the end of Friday, Saturday. So I thank you guys for checking this out. Just something to spark your thought, spark your vision, spark your out of the box. I'm going to think beyond what people say. I'm going to really logically think and dissect some things before I formulate certain opinions and spew certain things, you know, to the collective community. So with that said, have a great night. I hope this made sense to you. And write your comments, write how you feel down below in the comments. I'm always open to discuss. All right, Madam X. See ya.